Alright, so it's deuce to the train, man. It's the 23rd. Yeah, I'm off work. I've been editing most of the day. I am hella demotivated. Yeah, this week, I feel like this week's just been a shit week in general. If you watch the daily diaries, you'll see that, you know what I mean, I let my guard down in it. So I've been fucking with alcohol and it just hasn't really worked out for me. However, I'm not gonna let that defeat me. As soon as that bottle's done, I'm done with it for at least the foreseeable future. I'm not gonna put a date on it. I'm not gonna say forever because I'm real. So once this bottle's done, I ain't buying another bottle. Unless I can think of a really good excuse. And at the moment, there are no pending birthdays that necessarily require me to buy a bottle, even though all my sisters are born in March. So I can buy a bottle and I don't have to drink a bottle. I've come to that realization, and this week has taught me that, like, you know what I mean? Stick to your guns, man. Stick to your guns. Alright, so yeah, I'm done playing with it. Too much of a real mule to pour the remnants of the bottle that I've got in the house down the drain. So I'm just gonna done that today. You get me? But that realization in itself has demotivated me to the point where I ain't even trying to walk alone. I'm not a Liverpool fan.
There was no cheap waters.
Yeah, that's whatever. Thank you, sir. So, that being said, I've had to enlist the skills of my youngest son to aid me on today's walk. Sorry,
Sir.
you're on the bait cam.
No
So,
worries.
that being said, heading to Sutton Park, I'm going to do the same walk I did with Nick, which gives me roughly just under 4.5 miles. At this point in time anyway, just pottering about for the day and doing whatever. According to Pedometer Plus, I've already done 4,142. So, this should cover what needs to be done in order for me to be able to sleep tonight without being haunted by the fact that I'm lacking. I'll catch you on the other side. Peace. So, we're just a little over 3/4 of the way in. Heading in one direction. Kai's in the back somewhere, constructing, doing his thing. So I thought I'd just use this opportunity to speak to y'all and let you into the inner workings of my brain right now. So yeah, to be totally honest with you, probably wouldn't have done this walk today if I did not have company from Kai. It's God's honest truth. The sooner that bottle of alcohol is out of my way, the better. And the thing is, I was doing so good, but the second you let shit slip, you will get rope-a-doped by it. Thought I had it in the bag. Could walk into an off license. Don't have to worry about buying nothing. I ain't interested. I'm on my shit. But I've noticed in a couple of areas I've let shit lax, and as a result of that, the culmination of that, should I say, has probably resulted in a lot of subliminal moments of weakness without me even realizing, because I haven't put the necessary things in place to minimize the risk. So, alright, I warned you guys yesterday about complacency. So, my thoughts for today is definitely, the two words I'd say are very important. Risk assessment. You probably hear it at work all the time, and guess what? You notice that all those risk assessment rules are always curbed. People don't follow them, people take shortcuts, and depending on the situation and the severity, you've probably seen the results of what happens when you don't risk assess properly. This is no different. I thought I had it in the bag. I thought because I had it locked in and I was sticking to it, that I wouldn't be tempted by things like complacency or life in general just getting in the way. Now, check on my child. Yeah, he's still coming. He's doing his thing at his own pace. So, yeah, I thought I had it so figured out that I didn't calculate for the variables. On any average day, no matter how well you plan your day, shit can go sideways. And I'm more than familiar with that concept, so I don't understand why I didn't think to myself, well, what do I do if? Or what do I put in place to minimize the likelihood of me doing something that is not beneficial to my future self? You know what I mean? And subconsciously, I've been doing it for weeks up until this week, and I'm not beating myself up about it. I'm just warning you guys about what happens if you get a little bit too lax. Do you know what I mean? I've been committing sins. Not that I'm bothered about it, because like I said, I'm not punishing myself. However, I am more than aware of the fact that they slip back in real easy. So, from one birthday event where, you know, I'm gonna have a drink with my boy, it's his birthday, you know, I've had quite a few drinks this week. Oh no, although I haven't added sugar, I've still had quite a few drinks this week. And not only that, I know, or now know, what the effects of alcohol does to the body whilst you're trying to handle your weight management or lose weight or build your fitness or whatever. It literally slows down your metabolism. It stops your body clock. It puts everything on pause. So the more you do it is the worse, or the slower, or the longer it's going to take for you to achieve your goals. And depending on how you quantify your goals, it will increase the likelihood of you subsequently giving up. Because if you're the sort of person that jumps on the scales every day and says, oh, I haven't lost anything, then a couple of days drinking is going to fuck your shit right up and you're going to give up. I'm not that guy. I've weighed myself twice since I started. Once at the first because I really wanted to know. I weighed myself again a few days later, and I haven't bothered since because I really don't care. Ultimately for me, it's not necessarily about losing pounds, kilos or stone. I'd like to. I do have an ideal weight in my mind, but I might get close to that weight and realise it's too much, or just not like how it looks when it happens. So I'm not worrying about that. It's more about how my body actually feels, how I maneuver, and whether or not I'm comfortable with the change. So that's more of a focal point. So for that reason, I can take certain risks, show a little bit of negligence, and not worry about the outcome too much, purely because I know that I don't want to be Cleveland. So whatever it takes, I will reel it in and I'll sort it out, and I'll make the necessary adjustments. However, we are not all built the same. So again, I'll say to you, risk assessment is very important. One of the things I did or found very useful was I used to juice. I still do, but I do it intermittently. So what I'll do is I'll take a day where I'll prepare 3 sets of lunch or 3 meals, 4 meals, just so that if I get peckish, something's there, and I'm not going to resort to worst case scenario because I've already prepared something healthy that I can just grab. So I'll give you an example. Just basic shit like boiled eggs. When you're working out, when you're exercising, when you're training, everybody says, eggs for protein. Cool. Why just boil 1 or 2? You get what I mean? It's going to cost you the same in electric to boil as many as you can fit in the pan as it will for you to boil 1. So I would generally do like say 6 at a time, because it kind of makes sense for me to do that. And at least if I only eat 2, I can shell and have the other 4 ready in the fridge to go. So if I step in and I'm like ravenous, guess what? Rather than picking up a chocolate bar or making a flipping sandwich, I can just eat an egg, and that'll probably calm the hunger. So yeah, like I said, risk assess is the buzzword for today. And as you can see, it's twilight now. The lighting's getting a bit iffy. I can't be bothered to adjust the camera. So the next time you see me, I'll be back in the car and I will tell you what the step count for the days. In fact, I'll tell you when I get back home. So then you're closer to the end of day count, innit? And you know that I've definitely achieved whatever needed to be achieved. But yeah, risk assess, people. Peace. So, quick update here on the 23rd. How did my final step count work out? Went something like this. Total step count was 16,060 steps, according to Pedometer Plus Plus. As for the workout, we pretty much knew how that was going to go. It was 1 hour and 41 minutes. Total distance was 4.9 miles, walking back and forth in the park. 650 active calories burnt, 856 in total. The funny thing is, I walked slower again because I noticed if you actually walk slower, it seems to actually up the burn. So this one, my average walking pace, because I kept stopping and filming, I was 20.4. So it's a lot slower than normal. But my average heart rate, which is flipping weird. Alright, let's see if I can get the averages up. There you go. Average heart rate, 131, which definitely gets you up there in the burn zone. So, strange but true. Yeah. Yep. In fact, according to this, 134 was my lowest. And I got as high as 164. So, like I said, I'm going to keep an eye on that over the next couple of days before this whole thing's over and done with, just to see if we can get a definitive answer on whether or not going slower is actually better. But I'll keep you guys up to date anyway. Peace.